Welcome to Teardrop's TV. This is a Sonor Teardrop drum kit, but not just any teardrop. Actually, we fully restored this one. As you might notice, it's not 100% an original restoration, but rather we took some liberties with this restoration and make it a more playable kit. Actually, the story behind this particular one, over the years we collected lots and lots of teardrop parts and shells and lots of different stuff, broken drums, incomplete drums, not all of them from the same year with the same hardware setup, slight differences, and we're actually planning to make a longer video where we talk into detail about all of these teardrop details that you might be interested in and how to date the drums and so on. But yeah, with this one we just mixed all of the stuff together that we had and put some new wrap on there and polished everything, and also some slight improvements in order to make it more playable and a bit more nicer than it would otherwise be. One thing you might notice, they have the script logo on there. This was actually a thing of the earlier Teardrop series. The Teardrop series with this type of hardware usually had either the mallet logo or the rectangular Sonor logo that was used into the 70s. But yeah, the script logo looks a bit nicer, and those of you who know their Sonor stuff also know that this is the type of logo that was reused on the modern Vintage series. I think they started in 2012 and they're still of course available. So yeah, this was kind of a thing also to pay a little bit of homage to this modern series, but of course it's an old teardrop with old shells and old hardware and so on. We put new Delma Antique White Pearl on there, that's the rep name, and under all of the hardware parts we have these special 3D printed TPU gaskets. Originally these teardrops didn't come with gaskets under the lugs, and we created these. These are also available separately in the shop. They have square head tension rods because modern drummers who are not collectors, who want to play their kits, usually have a square head tuning key. And yeah, we have these 1/4 inch thread square head tension rods in our shop as well. Exclusively, by the way, an exclusive ST Drums product. On the inside, this one is actually a shell from the later period teardrop with 6-ply beechwood shell without reinforcement rings, and these ones are really the old kind, very very thin beechwood with thick reinforcement rings, round bearing edges on all of them with a lot of contact, and yeah, all of the bearing edges of course were redone, new heads, and it's surprising how amazing this kit actually sounds. As you may see, the wing screws, we exchanged all of them for a more modern version, the one that is more widely available, basically the wing screw version of the Performer series. It looks a bit more modern, and also I think that was the only chance for us to combine all of the gear together to one kit that looks kind of the same in all the hardware areas. And also they are kind of sturdy, they're easily replaceable, so that's why we chose these types of wing screws for the kit. On the tom you can see this is the original offset drilling. Also a very interesting and cool feature that these modern Sonor Vintage series also have. One more detail about these teardrops that make them a little bit dated compared to the later Sonor series. is the lugs. Actually, the lugs look very cool, but on the inside of the lugs there is a small hexagonal nut in this case with a thread for the tension rod, or others have these oval shaped pieces in there. You have a very short thread for tensioning. This means it has less friction than a modern type of lug, which also means they lose the tuning relatively easily. Also, because of the shells are kind of light and bendable, and yeah, this makes them go out of tune kind of quickly. This is a minus point, I guess, if you play a lot, gigs, different temperatures, different rooms. You might have issues with this on all of the teardrops from this old era. And of course, that's a very cool feature on these new Sonor Teardrop Vintage series. They have actually longer threads on the inside, and they have these tune-safe rubbers. So if you really want to play the kits, of course, get a new Sonor Vintage series kit. These are amazing as well. And they got actually similar shell construction like this one. I had actually, while making this drum set, I had the idea to build a kind of tune-safe rubber piece that goes into these old teardrop lugs as an add-on. But the problem is, yeah, the space in the lug and the tension rod length is not made for that. So unfortunately, this experiment was not did not work. And it would have been a cool add-on, but it's unfortunately not possible. There are other options for example, from Sonor, these tune-safe super locks, I think they call them, or also from Zebra drums, there are the thread locks, but these are for 732 threads, not for these old Sonor ones, by the way. But if you got another drum, and you can put these on there as well. Also, I have an old Teardrop snare right here, which is also not completely original. It's a COB shell, which is sounds pretty amazing. The hoops are not the original Teardrop ones. Actually, we used some from a later 70s 454, because that's the hoops that we had. Also, the butt end is, has a replacement screw because the original was missing. It's like the same butt end option that we mentioned in another video where we talked about the pancake snare from Sonor. So that's the same restoration fix that I did on this one. And the snare strainer on this is the one that you can also find on the cheaper Sonor Swinger in Action series. If you have a snare with this throw-off, you may know that this throw-off is kind of problematic because you can tighten the snare wire like this, but then over a certain point it's untightening again because it goes too far into the inside. And for this purpose I designed this, which is a 3D printed piece of TPU rubber. You put it on the hoop like this, and then the lever of the throw-off rests on there and doesn't move over the point of no return. And yeah, with this you can throw the throw-off on and off, and it works without causing too many problems. I don't know how many people are playing this type of throw-off and might be interested in this. I don't put it in our web shop right now, but if you're interested, comment below the video or send us an email, and I might consider making a few other 3D prints for other people as well. But like I said, I don't know how many people are really playing these and are really in need for something like this. But for this snare, of course, I wanted to make it playable, and for this it was a good option. And it doesn't change anything on the original snare, you just put it on the hoop and that's it. Also, one thing that is not original on this kit anymore are the hoops on the tom-toms. These are our own HV vintage style hoops. They are flayed to the inside. Yeah, just because they are new hoops, they are straight, they hold the tuning a bit better. They are, they're easily tunable. If you have old hoops, sometimes they are bent, and there comes problems with this. A little disclaimer: if you want to use these hoops on old Sonors with the thicker 1/4 inch thread tension rods, you might run into the problem that these holes in the hoops are too narrow. On some of the hoops we had to open the holes a little bit. It's close on some, and on some it doesn't work without opening the holes. You may run into problems, but that's pretty common if you work in special custom stuff like this. Of course, if there is a drum series and you have all the original parts, then they just go together because they were designed that way. And yeah, these are some details that you might run into if you work with customizing old drums like we did with this one. You see also there is a muffler on the floor tom. These are also from the 80s and 90s, external mufflers, because we didn't have one on the inside of this drum. Actually, we have an old stock of these if you want to put it on your floor tom. And yeah, it's an amazing kit. It sounds great. If I find the time, I will add a sound demo of the kit right here. And if not, I hope that these details were enough for you and make you want to have this drum kit. We'll put it in our web shop, the snare probably too, and if you're in the area, southwest of Germany, come by and test the kit. Like I said, it sounds really good. So thanks for watching and stay tuned for more Sonor videos. And like I said, we are planning to do a longer video on the Teardrop series, but yeah, it takes a lot of my time to go through all of these old catalogs. And the older the series gets, it's more vague and the pictures are not as high quality. It's harder to get the information, and also the people who are specialized in this, they are older and older and harder to reach. And yeah, but I try to make it work and to release a video sometime in the future, but it will definitely take some time. So thanks again for watching and see you in the next video.